Hello,
Hello.
everyone. Welcome to the Backstage Pass once again. I am your video editor, the Altair Blue. I am interviewing the host of the Backstage Pass, Affliction, or on Twitch, Affliction95.
Yeah,
So how's your day, Affliction?
I don't know, but I'm starting to feel like I'm the worst guest on my own podcast.
How was your bedroom? You're in the voice
Yeah,
channel.
I slept in that fucking chat all night. What's ironic is you were in one of the chats last night
Did
when
you?
you fell asleep.
Yeah. Did you already
And
start it?
yeah,
All right.
yeah,
It,
when I was sleeping in my bedroom, I made the chat last night because I was like, if they see me and you sleeping in the same lobby, they're gonna think something's up. They might think a little weird stuff. So I was like,
I would.
oh, then I'm gonna switch to a different lobby. I'll just make my own room.
Oh really?
You know, that's like hell day. I was looking out for our benefit. You know.
What? I didn't fall asleep. I stayed up a little bit, and I was just looking at the bloopers we had with the commentary with JT.
Oh,
They
I
were
love
pretty
JT.
funny. I can't wait to make that in a video.
Yeah,
That's going on the XW channel.
I'm. I love working with JT.
Yeah,
JT is one of my favorite people to work with.
we haven't even touched any questions yet at all. All right.
No.
Base. Is your question anonymous or not?
No, it's not.
Okay, the first question is going to come from Gregory,
Base is
the
your question
baseball
anonymous or not?
95, baseball 95, the Alpha Wolf, the Greg Williams. Okay, I'll stop. All right, what would you consider to be your favorite opponent and why?
God damn. I've had a lot of good ones actually. It's when it comes down to people I can draw money with and have a story with. That's the best opponent. I could always draw money with PG. I drew money with Luke, but it's got to be PG23X because he was not only like my favorite opponent to wrestle. He was my favorite tag partner, and he helped me through a lot of things back in the day. And if it wasn't for him, I would have lost interest in wrestling. So I owe him a lot. So he was my favorite wrestler. We've main evented more fucking pay-per-views you know, than I care to mention.
Okay. All right. Well, the next question. Actually, there's going to be, I believe, 3 questions. Back by the same person.
By base.
No, Ari.
Wow. Ari asked questions, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
He asked, "What is your Pro Wrestling net worth?"
My pro wrestling net worth, huh?
Yeah.
Actually, ironically, is I can tell you how much money I made last year off of my stuff that's either been sent to me or clothing I've sold. I can tell you just last year because that's all I can do. I always have the thing for revenue, and it tells me how much I've had. You know, when you sell clothing and shit like that, right? So I'm gonna take a second. I'm actually gonna take a look here because let's look at my.
Don't look in the
summary.
XCW chat.
No, I'm not. I'm not in the XCW chat right now. How much money I made in the past year? 16,006 Robux, just this year alone.
JT said his net worth is 9 ticks.
I wouldn't doubt it with him. I really wouldn't, because he was my favorite person back in the day. Because every time I would send him, because he always asked me, he's like, "Can you give me a little bit of Robux?" I was like, "Sure. What do you need?" He's like, "I really want to buy this house." Like, all right, how cheap is it? He's like, about 500 Robux.
Did he really?
Yeah, back in the day. And
Oh my goodness! It's really cheap. Don't worry about it.
I would never give him too much because every time I gave him too much, he would always spend it on like the most ridiculous shit. I remember one time he had the I don't know if it's his account now or the old account he had, but he bought this fucking thing with my Robux, by the way. This TV hat, okay? This TV that's on your head, and he wrestled in the TV thing for like 2 weeks, and he said, "This is 3D."
Oh my goodness.
I love working with him because you never know what train's gonna say.
So is JT your favorite match?
JT is, in my opinion, So underrated. He's the Santino Marella of pro wrestling. And I say that with so much pride because I've sat there and I've watched him. Like, he could sit there and he could, like, make you die from laughter even if you had, like, the worst day. So I love working with Train. Train's just a big lovable,
All right.
he's just a big lovable guy.
Great. Well, these questions you're probably gonna say them real quickly because I actually know I already gave you one question that was Aries. Let me ask you another. Uh, what is your favorite match type?
Oh, I always loved the Royal Rumble. Every time the Royal Rumble came around, that was my favorite time because right after that Rumble, you're right on that road to Mania or whatever the main event pay-per-view of the year is. Right.
I know, yeah, I get what
That
you're
was
feeling.
always the biggest rush for me. But I loved when Money in the Bank actually became a thing in pro wrestling because that took a little while. When that became a thing, I loved doing that. But all time since I've been in pro wrestling, it's got to be the ladder match because I was in the first ever ladder match, and I've seen it grow and be revolutionized in so many different ways. And I miss it. I miss pro wrestling, like the old ladder match concepts because everybody tries to put their own spin on the ladder match, but that's neither here nor there. But ladder's definitely got to be my favorite.
Alright, this is the last question Ari has sent.
Okay.
For now, at least.
Okay.
I don't trust him. Tell a funny story that happened when you were a pro wrestler. Think of the funniest story you could think of that
I've had a lot.
that you told no one.
That I told no one.
Yeah, told no one in XCW. I added a little bit. I added a little bit of that.
Yeah. Okay. Have I ever told you the time I was in a Skype call in the middle of the night with my old crew, and there was a wrestler in the call who didn't turn his mic off, and he was listening to porn and masturbating?
Adrian has a similar story.
Oh my god! Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys something. I'm not gonna bring up his name because I think I don't know. I don't know if he's still around or whatever.
Yeah, you never. By the way, you didn't tell me that story, but yeah, you can go ahead. But by the way, Adrian had a similar situation before. He told us.
The dude, he said he was going to get off at night, he was going to go to bed. All of a sudden, he left the call, but all of a sudden, it came back on. Little did we know, when he logged off his cell phone off of Skype, it logged him in on the computer, right? So all I heard was, like, moaning and groaning sounds. So I thought somebody in the call either, like, got hurt or something like that, right? Then all of a sudden, all I hear is, like, literally this. And I was like, oh my god. And I'm screaming in the thing. I'm like, dude, turn your fucking shit off. No. And all of a sudden I hear him. And it's like, all of a sudden you hear, ugh. I was like, I can't believe I've been in a Skype call. And the man finished in the Skype call. And there was a lot of people in the call. Okay? I was mortified. I could not sit there and fucking, like, I could never look at him the same way, and I still don't look at him the same way. Even when the last time I saw him, he knows all about that afterwards because we told him, of course. But I don't think I can. I don't think I can talk to him on a nightly basis like I used to.
Thank you for the story.
Thank you. No problem.
What else I said about with Adrian? I forgot who. But Adrian got someone into the KO squad. I forgot who it was. Wasn't it like Nick the Destroyer? No, Base. I think you were here when. Remember that guy who was here? He was a heel, but he always prayed for some reason.
Was that Alex Hart?
Yes, it was Alex Hart. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Alex Hart. Adrian got him into the KO squad. They were in a call. This man, Alex Hart, was in the calls. In Adrian's words, was starting moaning like a girl.
Oh my fucking god! I don't
I
think I
was
could
in
listen to that. Oh my god, Alex Hart.
This is when I was at work, so I didn't hear about it
I
until
w-
afterwards.
yeah, I was in a call when Adrian was telling us that.
Yeah.
I think Alex Hart got fired from the KO Squad immediately. I don't.
I wouldn't doubt that. That's a hell of a mental image to put into your head and try and get it out.
Some like
Just
little
saying.
kid, some little child moaning like a little girl.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Uh,
Oh,
I
shit.
completely forgot about Alex Hart. I forgot his name.
God, you know what the worst thing is he was my first match in XCW.
Are you serious?
Serious as a heartbeat. Now that I know
Yes.
that, I feel a little dirtier.
Yes.
He pounded him like he pounded himself.
I was a heel before I even got into the ring with him, apparently.
Alright. Now, well, let me ask you another question. What are your thoughts on EWE?
Oh, wow. Depends. I loved doing my stuff with EWE because obviously me and PG, we had a lot of fun with it. We had it open for quite a while. The only issue I had is that this was like I was there. EWE was around when we had the old era and we had the new era. Okay, the old era had a lot of ambition, wanted to be the top guys, right? Everybody wanted that top spot. What sucks is like in the new era, there was a lot of guys that I saw that had no ambition and didn't want it. Okay,
Okay.
I just couldn't. I couldn't understand why. I felt like a lot of today's pro wrestlers are lazy and complacent and don't want to be, break out as that top guy. Adrian's one of the only people I've seen in today's pro wrestling that wants it, But I can't see wrestlers like back in the day liking the wrestlers of now. I'm not even talking about like 2012. I'm talking like even before that. The old school wrestlers that built built the foundation of pro wrestling, they would hate today's wrestlers. No doubt in my mind. Everything was built on society. Everything was built on respect, mutual respect. Like now when you beat somebody, they're like, reach.
I can understand that. I
don't understand that. Like back in the day when you lost a match, you said GG or you like good match, all that stuff, and they said the same thing back. It was very rare back in the day for somebody to insult somebody.
Yeah.
Just saying, unless you were doing it in a promo, because a lot of today's guys don't know how to work.
All right. Yeah, like with a recent rivalry that I did in DWF with a guy named Venom Crow. He was probably one of my favorite person to ever work with.
Mm-hmm.
And almost everything was scripted except for the final match because we want to know who would win. I lost against him, but the rivalry was everything worked out so well. All we did was say good shit at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have much respect towards him. And now to another question. What are your thoughts on WWD/CPW?
Okay. Habs, I'll give Habs credit. I'll give Habs credit on certain things because Habs can sometimes be pretty smart. Okay. Habs, the only problem that Habs has is he tends to rely on the wrong people. Okay? He puts his trust in Undead. Undead was, in my opinion, one of the worst people you could put in that position. Because I don't think mentally he could handle the responsibility of running a company. Because the way he ran CPW was like, every time some kind of match type that made sense, or like some kind of match that made sense, was thrown to the table, he said, nah, that we're not gonna do that. And of course I was just a GM and he was like co-owner, so I couldn't do shit. But that's one of the reasons, like when I saw that I knew the writing was on the wall and I wanted out of CPW so bad. Because not only when I saw what CPW was doing, because CPW started taking some matches from CPW started stealing some matches from XCW. I don't know 100% if it was Habs or if it was Undead because I wasn't in that conversation when that happened. All I do know is when Undead took credit for the Caged Animal match, which is my match, that's when I knew I wanted out because I couldn't stand working with somebody that doesn't know how to work, doesn't know how to successfully work his own kind of match types into something. I came up with a match type and used it for the benefit of CPW. Now it's owned by XCW. Right? I'd rather go to XCW because at least with XCW, I know it's going to be used right and used for certain matches.
Oh, so you were like in WWD or CPW when they were against XCW?
I was with CPW up until the feud started with XCW because this is exactly what I said to Undead because Undead came up with an idea of going head to head with XCW. I said you're gonna get killed. XCW brings in way more people than you bring in. I said, and you're gonna want to go head to head with XCW. That doesn't make any sense. That's just putting your company and basically making your company commit suicide because that doesn't make sense. I said the only way that we're going to beat XCW is if we were to find other talent outside of XCW and CPW and look for like the little independent companies and sign them to contracts. That's the only way we could have done anything. Not saying we would have won. I'm not saying we would have lost. I'm just saying that, if we would have done it the way I thought would have been a great way to do it, we would have had a chance.
That's nice. That's nice. I didn't know you were like involved with this because
I was heavily involved in it right in the beginning of it all.
Yeah, because
even before it all happened.
Because I do know I haven't heard that many stories about it, but I do know that WWD and CPW they like a lot of the feud they had with XCW is a big history in XCW.
I can tell you exactly the conversations leading up to the CPW versus XCW thing because I knew with CPW what was going on with. I told Habs right before I jumped from CPW to XCW. I said, "You need to make a change, and you need to make a change now. You either need to get rid of Undead, or your company's going to go down. I guarantee you, it's going to happen within a month." And as he puts it, he's like, "I don't, I trust Undead. He's not going to screw me over, shit like that." I knew right away when I fucking jumped from XCW, not from XCW. When I jumped from CPW to XCW, and I first got here, I was like. XCW is the only, after being here, I didn't know for sure if it was going to be the right fit for me because Adrian told me to jump from CPW to XCW. He gave me an invite, said, you got to go to one of these shows. It's actually really cool, and they're like a family. So I was like, okay, I'll take the opportunity, and I'll try it. But I was told when I jumped over that Xavier didn't like certain people, okay? I was told, I don't remember exactly who told me. I think it was one of the voice chats I was in the first time I got here. I was told that Xavier will try and hold you down if he doesn't like you. Now, I don't know...
You can continue.
I don't know for a fact what Xavier would have done, because every time I've been, the first time I got in here, Xavier's been nothing but nice to me. So, as far as I'm concerned, I think it was the right choice for me, career-wise, but... there's times I wonder what would have happened if CPW could have beat XCW. Because I don't think CPW would have been in business much longer after beating XCW.
So about the whole getting little indie feds and signing them into CPW, that was your play to help CPW if it went your way. Yeah. Okay. I'll just make sure. Okay.
Ironically, I went around. And I went to a few independent companies. I found good wrestlers. I'm not talking about main event quality talent, but people that could have been molded into main event quality talent. But it was a start. If we could have, even if we brought in 12 low carders, as long as we had a more stable attendance than XCW, we could have won. But Undead was too selfish to understand, or he was too stupid because. Out of everybody I've ever met, Undead either has to be one of the most idiotic or stupidest, one of the most idiotic people. I'm gonna go light on him and say he's probably one of the most idiotic people I ever met from a business standpoint because I've never met somebody that doesn't understand business. He's one of the only promoters I ever met that could not understand pro wrestling.
Okay. Well,
he's a good wrestler, but he wasn't good at fucking being a, owner.
Well, I'm ask you a question, which I did not know was gonna be a thing. It came out of
Mhm.
nowhere. And guess who
Yeah.
it came from?
What?
XO Kelly OX.
Oh, here we go.
You
What's
know
her
what?
question?
She wants to get in a relationship with you.
With who?
You.
No.
That's
No.
it. No.
No. No, no, no. I'm a Christian man. Okay? I see God. I love God. I'm just not. There's no way in hell that would ever happen. Not on this earth. God above knows for a fact that I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I
All
couldn't
right.
do it.
All right. All right. All right. Okay. Let's. Do you have a dog named Steve?
No, I
Oh,
don't have
wait,
a dog
are
named
you
Steve.
a dog named Steve? My bad. I read that
No,
wrong. So
unless I was a dog named Steve in another life, I don't think I could have been a dog. So, uh,
but like, what
no.
about the dog that barks? Does he have a name, or is he just the dog that barks?
That's just something I came up with on Toontown, just to try and make a joke, and everybody took it way out of fucking proportion. So, either way. All right.
All right. All right. The
Yeah, the
next.
Steve thing throws me off. That threw me way off. I don't know why.
All right. Are you single or taken?
I'm single.
He's kind of like confuzzled because he's looking for someone. I know that. He's looking at someone.
As of right now, I'm single, but I have my eyes on somebody,
Yeah.
and she is a beautiful girl. And we had a lot of things that happened. I think I don't want to go into detail with the whole my ex thing, and I'm not going to bring her name up, but I think the best thing for us was to go our separate ways because she had a lot of issues and I had a lot of issues. And this is before I found God and all this stuff to help me really, because every day can be a struggle, but it doesn't matter how hard that day is. As long as you put your faith in God, then, everything's going to go smoothly, and just trust that he's going to steer you on the right path. Okay?
Okay.
But now it's like, once that was over with, as a guy, you want that companionship and you want somebody to be there with you, right? There's this girl I do like, and she is very nice, and I see a lot of potential with being with her and maybe growing a future. We have a lot of things in common, so I'm hoping everything works out with that. But besides that, there's nothing really else I can say about that.
All right. Let me ask another question.
Okay.
This is a dumbass question. Why the fuck does he want me to ask you this?
What's the question?
What are your favorite kind? What's your favorite kind of pie?
Poontang pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta be poontang pie. Anybody that knows pie, that's my favorite pie.
Let me ask you this: who do you think sent that?
Probably Harry.
I thought too, but then I realized this isn't Harry, but it's not. It's not
Who the fuck
Harry.
sent that to me?
You'd be surprised.
I would. JT.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
Goddamn JT.
All right.
Yeah, it sounds like something JT would send.
I told you all of Aries questions.
You what?
I've told you all of Aries questions.
Okay, so it was Harry.
No, I told you that they came from him. I didn't
Oh.
say the last one did come from Harry.
Okay.
All right. What is your favorite rival?
PG 23, because I would not have made so much, because I was really good when I first got into pro wrestling, but then after a few, maybe 3-4 years down the line, I got to a point where I started feeling stale. That's when we came up with the concept of NYMH, me and PG, NYMH was the tag team that basically was D-Generation X before, anybody else could really do it and make it actually work, right? We would go out to other people's tag team theme songs and mock them and stuff in the ring. Like there was a team acting like Bray Wyatt's Wyatt family, and I would go in the ring and I would do, I would get in the ring and be like, I am scary man from Kentucky. Kentucky.
Kentucky.
I was I was fucking around, and me and PG, we were an amazing tag team. Then we split.
Kentucky cried kicking.
And then we split our team up, and we played it out so well that actually a lot of people were surprised because we did it before Seth. We split up before Seth Rollins turned heel and joined the Authority, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he played it so perfectly because we defended the tag team titles. We were tag team champions for almost 8 months, and nobody could beat us. And there was really nothing else for me and him to do tag team wise because we did everything there was to do in any company that was out there, right? We even dressed up as Goldust and Stardust as a tag team just to fucking joke around. I was Crydust with a fucking diamond on my head, okay? And I was coming out to this theme song of Stardust's theme song, but the baby was crying during the whole theme, right? We were doing that. And I missed that kind of dynamic because, PG was awesome, and then the way we split up was so perfect because PG, we were playing this thing where we lost a few matches. We just lost the tag team titles, and the play was, we were going to challenge the tag team champions. We were stronger than ever, and we were going to prove that, right? And then literally I get backstage, and I get attacked, right? And we played the story where when I got attacked, PG was trying to find out who attacked me, right? He walked around the entire night, and the story is I got hurt pretty bad because I ended up having a very serious injury or whatever. I played it like that because I also at that time I needed time away from this because I was burnt out. And we played it to where when I was coming back, we revealed a tape that we did later on. We did a YouTube tape, and the way we played it is where in the video it looks like PG threw me off this ledge, right, onto this floor in the backstage area, and I came back. And we had one of the biggest rivalries for fucking 4 or 5 months. We fought every time we turned around. So, I miss PG. He was a great guy.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you this question. This came from the Dylan JP, by the way.
Oh God.
He didn't ask to be anonymous, so I'm gonna say it came from him.
All right.
All right.
See what he's gonna say.
I'm not gonna ask that, JT. He's not gonna understand it. Actually, no, wait, he did understand it. Fuck, I'm stupid. Okay, never mind. But this came from Dylan JP.
Okay.
He asked me to ask you, why is Bully Dozer avoiding you?
Xavier, I've told you since the day I came into this company, I wanted Bully Dozer because I love when people say, oh, there's a monster that needs to be taken, there's a monster. Bully Dozer was a monster, okay? Bully was a fucking beast. I wanted Bully Dozer, okay? First day I came into this company, Bully Dozer was already booked for, in a different match at pay-per-view or whatever. I think he was teaming with Xavier. And I was pissed because, it was cool to do all that stuff, and then once I started getting my name into this company more, I tried to talk to Xavier, see if I can get that match with Bully. He says, well, it only depends on when Bully comes back. I was like, I want Bully to come back. Message him, do whatever you got to do. I want Bully Dozer. And Bully is one of the only people I think I would ever come out of retirement to have a match with.
Well, I mean, I can tell you right now, from my experience in XCW, Bully he is like Brock Lesnar. He comes whenever he comes.
Exactly.
There are times though when Xavier can get Bully to come back. There's been some times.
Yeah.
I can't exactly think of an example immediately in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, because he just shows up most of just whenever he wants. He usually comes when it's summer. So I'm surprised how he hasn't come back at all. Maybe he just thinks XCW died or something.
I want Bully Dozer. And I will tell everybody this, and I will scream from the mountaintops. I want that match with Bully Dozer because Bully, I can draw a lot of money with Bully Dozer and make the storylines personal. And I want Bully Dozer. I've said this since day one. I don't know what Bully's doing. I'm not going to say, if Bully Dozer's gone and retired, good on Bully. But if Bully does come back, I will be waiting.
Well, here's the problem. Okay, let me tell you this. Here's the problem. It's going to be hard to make it personal because we don't really know exactly much about Bully. And of course, we all know, like, even Xavier, like, at one point, there was an entire argument about with Alan Xavier, or it's someone with Xavier. We were wondering if Bully was really black. We were actually asking that question because none of us really know what he looks like.
All I know is that, and if Bully ever hears what I'm going to say, and this is for Bully or anybody else that knows Bully, I want a match with Bully Dozer. It's not for my reason, okay? It's not because I need that match, because I don't. I want to test the theory that everybody keeps saying that Bully Dozer is good. Okay? Bully is good, and if he's as good as everybody says he is, then he wouldn't have a problem going one-on-one with me. So, I'm extending that offer out to him, and I wouldn't be against doing it a one-off match with Bully.
Well, right now he's probably a little bit too busy with child support, so I don't think he's going to come back anytime soon. Alright, next question. This comes from DJP. What do you think about Chain Man 2001? That may or may not come from DJP. Who... I can't exactly tell you.
Alright, DJP. Train is one of my favorite people since I've been in this game. He is like, I want to work with him again. Like, not as a wrestling standpoint, but like, as you know, we're doing the commentating for XCW's thing, and he is one of my favorite people because he makes me laugh, and he gets me fucking hunched over laughing so hard. But I wish for a fact that he would come, like, that Train would come out of retirement and wrestle, but I know he can't. But I love the comedy sense of Train, and I love that Train can captivate people, even if he has like the worst match on the card. He makes people laugh, and it's not in this game. It's not about Train Man being, a wrestler anymore. I know he's content with being retired, but I just wish people knew about the lighter side of Train Man and the humorous side of Train Man, because he's awesome. He's awesome. And I wish he would fucking come back. And even whether it's a manager or whatever, I like that. But him being a commentator, I can settle for that, and working with him again is like the greatest thing in the world for me. Because it's like having my best friend back, one of my best friends back.
Well, let me tell you a dumbass question by a dumbass person. And he says, Ari was always the captain. And that's all he has to say.
He can be the captain, I'll be the GOAT. I'll be the greatest of all time while he can be a captain. Because when you're the greatest of all time, you can work with everybody and anybody and draw money with them and make the other person look good and not afraid to put people over. The captain only steers that ship in one goddamn direction, and that's forward. And when that ship finally goes down, what are you going to be remembered for? For sinking the ship. That's all. Everybody remembers the Titanic because the Titanic was a major flop.
Right.
I'm just saying.
There's a whole lot more questions than I realized. Okay. Let me ask you a question that you may or may not be prepared of, because some anonymous person decided to ask you list of XCW stars and your thoughts on them.
List of XCW stars?
Yeah.
I'll go off the right side on the... Actually, I'll go on the right side of the Discord. Alright, so Xavier DeMonte, he worked for EWE for a little while. He went after the Top Dog Championship, which was a little bit below the Hardcore title, but then he started going for the Hardcore title. I don't know exactly whatever happened to Xavier, because I can't guarantee you I remember, but that's just that. He's an amazing person, I'm not going to lie. But there's times that Xavier can be a little bit of a pain in the ass, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's good to have a pain in the ass, So, Alan, I don't know Alan good enough to really make an opinion on him. Adrian's one of the best wrestlers going today. Who is? Oh, Ray Shadows. Who the hell's Ray Shadows?
Race.
Giant.
Oh yeah, that's
Razor
Giant
the
Tracer.
A giant.
Oh, I don't know him.
I love that guy.
Mario
He's nice.
Tepig. I'm gonna tell you something. Mario Tepig, in my opinion, is a great wrestler. Back in the day, like Mario could fucking run circles around people. Nowadays, he's retired, but I'm happy I got to catch up with him before I retire. Not like, before I retire. So, you got DJP. DJP, I've heard things about him in the past, but I never got to meet him until I came here recently. XCW, like DJP is cool, but the only thing I think that's lacking for DJP in this age for himself is he seems to lack motivation, because going into this story with, Fusion makes, Fusion's carrying DJP, in my opinion. And I think Fusion's going to beat DJP. And when Fusion beats DJP, in my opinion, what is left for DJP to do? So that's just with that. Austin Nevins, if Austin could get his head out of his ass, focus instead of like literally getting frustrated and, screwing up in the middle of his matches, then he would be fine. But he seems to make the same mistake over and over and over again, where when he's in a big match situation, he chokes. And he needs to pace himself and calm down, because he's making simple mistakes in big match situations. Freddie, I love Freddie. I met Freddie at fucking 2K18, and Freddie's an amazing guy. He can be a pain in the ass sometimes. Baseball is my brother. I love you, baseball. Airy, all right. Airy, I'm gonna shoot straight with you.
Can I ask you this question?
Yeah.
How many more people are you gonna talk about?
I'm only gonna go through a few more people.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm only gonna get like maybe 4 more. Airy, I like you, Airy, but the only reason you switched to takedown is because you couldn't handle being a clean wrestler. Straightforward.
Oof.
If you would take the time to try and teach yourself or learn from somebody on how to do clean wrestling, you could be good. You have all the tools to do it. The only problem you seem to have is that you don't want to do it. I don't know whether it's because you're lazy or what, but I'm just saying. I'm not saying it to be an asshole. I'm just saying it because, I'm just saying it because I can say it. JT, he's my brother. Luke Dynamite is the most underrated row all time. I don't care what anybody says. I love Luke. I have seen Luke wrestle fucking... I could see Luke being one of the greatest wrestlers of all time if Luke had more exposure back in the day. If Luke was back in my day, Luke would be one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Period. 2 more people. Flamey, I love you, Flamey. You are going to be... When you retire, you are going to be very missed. I'm going to say that. And only Flamey knows what we talked about. And Flamey, I'll keep your secret safe for the rest of my life. France, since you're in here, I'm, going to tell you something.
Okay.
I love you. You are a great wrestler. You have all the tools to be one of the greatest. But the only thing that I think you need to work on a little more is your gimmick. That's all.
Yeah. I guess that's why I made that, I'm gonna try to make the Jack Frost character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to do more character.
And I'm just going on record here. I hate Phantom. I don't like Phantom. Phantom is like... Phantom is like this guy who keeps stealing my damn Pokemon when I'm just about to get him. I could have got that Charmander.
Alright. Alright. Well, thank you for the criticism.
No problem.
Alright, I want to ask you a question. From Anonymous.
Okay.
What do you think... Hold on. What do you think about Mayhem, and are you excited for it?
Am I excited for Mayhem?
Yeah, what do you think of it, and are you excited?
Since it's my concept, I think it has all the ability to become something great. It's just I gotta find people that have the time to do it. The XCW roster, a majority of the roster, they're busy in other companies, you know. And even if I message some of them during the week, like, and ask what day they're free, like some of them will be like, "Oh, I don't know," and that's fine. I understand you're not going to be free, you know. But I wish somebody, like, if I had a steady roster here in XCW of people, Mayhem, what would have been Mayhem, because Mayhem's getting its name switched. Uh, if I could get a steady group of wrestlers, then I could do wonders with that. And with the whole new concept, I'm happy. So it has the potential to be something really good. It's just how we execute it and how we can do it that makes it more interesting to me.
Oh my goodness, okay, I just want to point this out. I know this is
Okay.
we're interviewing you, but this is some
Mhm.
dumbass shit.
Okay.
Ari, he's not listening, but this is a message to you. I don't
Okay.
Stop being a dumbass and realize the Harry thing was a joke. What happened was we were playing Cards Against Humanity. No, it wasn't even Cards Against Humanity. We were doing a commentary thing, for the Mayhem show, and instead of calling you Harry, Airy, it sounded like he was saying Harry, and we called him out for it all the
It was
time.
it was in the middle of doing for Mayhem. So
Yeah.
just so you know, it was a slip from JT because it was his first time commentating. He never heard your name before, and I said Airy. He thought I said Harry. Okay, that's the end of that one.
Yes, so please, for the love of God,
Well, let's squash that now.
Stop fucking complaining. JT didn't mean to say it. He
He
might,
didn't mean to
he's
say it.
joking around now.
I will tell you this, Ari. If you keep letting if you keep bringing up the Harry thing, JT's just gonna keep calling you Harry.
Yeah, because that's just dumb as fuck.
Just stick with like Ari, and he'll learn to live with it. Just don't keep bringing it up to him. And try and go a little bit easy on Ari. He has a fragile ego.
Alright.
All right.
This from DJP, or not, I don't know. What do you think about the new Impact Wrestling game by R2 Interactive?
I hate it. I hate it. It's like he could put so much more effort into the actual 2K game, but he doesn't want to. He chooses not to. Like, that's his biggest issue. Is like Bill Trollberg, aka that anybody doesn't know is Casually Critical. He does not he puts his effort into. Don't get me wrong. He does a lot of things, and he is really good at what he does, scripting and all that stuff. But his biggest problem is, like, 1 second. His biggest issue is that he doesn't know how to stay tasked on one subject. He just doesn't know how to do that. That's his problem.
Wait.
And Bill's cool, but he's just. I can't understand why he doesn't put his effort in the 2K game, and now he's putting in the Impact and all that. Because the ladder match for Money in the Bank at 2K is all fucked, and he, says he can fix it, but he hasn't fixed it yet.
I guess it's probably ambition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people lose their drive for doing this
Yeah.
stuff.
They do. Okay, next question.
Okay.
I know you said you were talking about Xavier earlier, but try to go in detail. Go in detail more. What are your thoughts on Xavier DeMonte?
Okay. We'll go in. Xavier DeMonte is, in my opinion, reminds me a lot of me. And that's weird for me to say because he has the same attitude I had back in the day where I was going to do what I wanted to do, and if you didn't like what I was going to do, You can kiss my ass because this is my company and this is my career and I'm more important than anybody else. That's the way I always looked at it. And I think he looks at it the same way. He has his close friends and stuff like that. And, Xavier's cool. He's cool. That's why when, since I've been here, since I've been here with XCW and I've seen him go off in the calls and stuff like that, I used to do the same thing in the old Skype crew. I used to do the same thing. That's what's so hard for me to understand is when it comes to Xavier, it's like I'm looking into a black version of me. It is because I've grown. Obviously, I've grown, changed my ways and stuff. But he will do whatever it takes to, he'll cut people's throats to get to where he wants to go. That's just his way, and that's the same way I was. So, but when it comes to him, he's a great wrestler. If he's the same, when he was with us in EWE, he was a good wrestler. Well, just everybody that comes to that company has to start from the bottom and work their way to the top. I don't care if you're a main eventer or a low carder. That's the way it was, right? So when he was going through that process, EWE was going to close anyways because we were just about at the end of it, okay? Because I was tired of EWE and so was PG. And you wanted to go back to RWU and I wanted to go back to RWU. And Xavier just, I don't know. Everywhere I've gone, I really haven't heard too much about Xavier DeMonte. And that's not a knock on Xavier, because he's good. It's just, he can be a pain in the ass. But he's a pain in the ass that's so familiar because he's doing the same things I did. And this is what's going to happen. Xavier's going to say he's going to leave pro wrestling after Doomsday. But he's going to do the same thing I did. He's going to leave for a little while, and he's going to come back and do a story with somebody else. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm calling Xavier a liar, because I'm not. I'm saying that once you're bit by a bug like this, you're going to miss your friends. You're going to miss this kind of aspect of running your shows, and you're going to miss being able to run and be in charge of things. Because doing it in this game, running things in this game, you can be a totally different person in this game compared to who you are outside of this game. There's people I've met in this game that have been bullied and all that stuff, and they come into this game and they're like, this is what I like this game because I don't have to be afraid of, anybody knowing my true identity. I can just be myself here and not be criticized. So Xavier, in my opinion, he's a great guy. He's a pain in the ass, but he's a great guy. And Xavier, as far as I'm concerned, he reminds me so much of myself. It's like looking into a mirror. I consider Xavier a friend. And if I didn't like Xavier, I wouldn't have given him titles and all that stuff and try and help out with XCW and all that. But I like Xavier. So that's all I got with that.
All right. Next question. Where was the KO Squad story going when you originally joined it?
Give me 1 second. Advertise Doomsday or something. Just give me 1 second.
Advertise Doomsday. Okay,
Yeah.
for Doomsday coming up, Xavier DeMonte versus Flamey the Flame. Is this Flamey's time for triumph? Is this time to really main event? Will it be the main event or that shitty ass match against Austin versus Adrian? Who knows? Stay tuned in XCW.
Keep going. I'm enjoying this.
Okay. That's about it. I don't. You wanna watch another?
Talk about Flamey.
Flamey? Fuck. He's quiet. He's nice, and for some reason he's a awesomer. I don't know.
You are one of the worst spokesmen I have ever heard.
I don't know much.
Coming down the aisle, he is Michael Buffy.
That was the best I could do at first, and he just said to keep on going.
I was enjoying it at first, and all of a sudden it kind of went to...
Yeah.
I got it. XCW comes to you live on July 28th for XCW Doomsday, live from Las Vegas.
Yeah. See? He got it.
Alright. Hey. Alright. All right. Are you ready for the question?
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah. I asked the where. What was the original? What was the KO Squad story when you originally joined it?
I was talking to Adrian. He wanted to bring KO Squad to XCW again. He sent me a message. Well, actually, it was a phone call we had. Uh, now, Flamey is not Flamey, but Adrian is a smart businessman. He knew that bringing me in already, I already had a title. He had a title. It made sense, right? We had Phantom, and I don't know if anybody else was around, but the reason why Flamey, not Flamey, fucking, I got Flamey stuck in my head now. The reason why Adrian asked me to be a part of it is he wanted to take over XCW from that aspect. Once I started seeing that KO Squad was getting lazy and complacent in XCW, I got out of it because I've never been a really big stable guy. I've been like basically solo or a tag team guy. I couldn't work with KO Squad because they were starting to feel lazy and complacent. Adrian was fine, but they were really like Phantom, in my opinion, at that time, he was like going for the TV title, but like he could have done more. I think he could have attended more. Maybe it could have been better and bigger, but it died off, which I kind of predicted anyways before it even happened.
All right. Okay. All right. So next question.
Okay.
Uh, in your opinion, it's your opinion. You could even say facts.
Okay.
Uh, who is your worst wrestler in XCW today?
That I don't like wrestling or like who
The
I've wrestled in
worst. No,
XCW?
no, no. The worst wrestler in XCW. You don't have to wrestle him. You don't even have to know him. Who do you think is the worst wrestler in XCW?
Clever Idiot. I don't. He's not active now, but before I left, Clever Idiot was one of the worst wrestlers I've seen. Uh, besides him, Vertel. Uh, I don't know. I think Vertel has a new person playing his account or something like. Is that who I'm thinking of?
Yeah, there's someone else playing his account.
Well, the old Vertel was one of the worst acts I've seen because he just couldn't win a match, and that's just how it was. Uh, I don't have any like hate towards Vertel because I don't know Vertel, but if we're just being honest, yeah, Vertel without a shadow of a doubt. I just couldn't. I don't think I could work with someone like Vertel, just based off the simple fact that I don't think he could. I don't think he could carry his side of a build towards like a match.
Okay.
I think everybody thought I was going to say Airy.
All right. This question comes from the anonymous DJP.
Of course.
when you and Train Man 2001 were in RWE, what caused you two to lose connection?
What caused us to lose connection is once we left RWE, Train got inactive. After RWE fell, I was already, retired at that point. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to wrestle anywhere. I was just, I wouldn't go anywhere unless the money or like either I got paid Robux to go somewhere or it made sense for me to go there or do a one-off, right? Train got inactive, and we used to play a lot of games. Me and him, we would play what the hell is it? It's that game on there, like Phantom Forces. We'd play Phantom Forces. We did NASCAR together. Fucking 2K18 was another one we did. And we lost connection probably because of Train's inactivity. And I was definitely not the most active person at the time. So I apologize to Train because I wish I could have kept in touch with Train because Train is still one of my closest friends in this game. So
All the love towards Train.
I love Train. Train's an amazing man.
All right.
And you can even the other day when you were watching this on commentary, you can see the instant chemistry between me and
Yeah.
Train.
Yeah, it
And
was great.
That's just how we are.
I love the commentary bloopers.
Yeah.
Um. Let me ask you. This comes from this comes. This comes from. I'm so shocked myself. This apparently comes from Kelly again.
Oh no. But I feel like this is not Kelly. It's someone like Xavier or fucking DJP pulling a prank on me. I'm right, ain't I?
He asked is why did
He asked.
she? No, I said she.
Okay, hey.
For fuck's sake, are you wait? Are you telling us right now that Kelly is a man? The rumors were true. She is a guy named
Caden.
Caden.
Back in the day, I believed it 100%.
Okay.
I believed that 100%. I swore to up and down. I thought that she was
Okay.
Caden.
Sweden?
No, Caden.
Oh.
Caden. She said, yeah, she's Sweden.
Yeah. He wouldn't be meatballs. Alright, do you, is there a reason why you rejected her? Is it because you think that she's a hoe? Or is it because she's still trying to slide into your DMs?
As far as I know, she doesn't slide in my DMs. And I have a weird feeling this is really DJP. So I kind of, like, there would never be any interest from me because I don't do the online dating stuff, okay? That's just my way. I just don't like doing that. I'd rather have some virtual... I'd rather not have some virtual girl than I'd rather have some girl I can actually hold and cuddle up with at night, you know? It's not like on this game, what am I going to do? Cuddle up with pixels? Am I going to rub your fucking pixelated clitoris? That's not going to happen. Okay? I'm not doing that. Like, that's not... I saw the sex tape, and, like, I saw the thing where she bit his wiener, and she, like, stuck her finger in his ass or something like that, or was it the other way around? I don't remember.
Was it the other way?
I don't know who stuck whose finger in whose ass, okay?
But you know it was just the guy. You don't know which guy.
Yeah, you know what scares me the most is, like, back when I was a kid, I came up with a game concept that I think would fit those two pretty perfectly. You know what it was called?
What?
It was called Stick and Switch. You know what that was?
What?
It's where you stuck one thumb in your mouth and one thumb in your ass, and then when someone said switch, you switched.
Oh my god. Are you sure you're not the hoe?
No, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think I'm.
Okay. So your body 24/7 for that pixelated money.
I would never do anything for that. No, that's just not me. Even I was never one of those people that could online date. I just couldn't.
Yeah, me neither.
Anybody who knows me knows I couldn't do that.
Well, I started with so many questions. Now I'm running out of questions. Okay. Favorite story.
Favorite story. I can tell you probably a funny road story if we're going to be on that subject. Back in the old road wrestling, we would try and make it as realistic as possible. So we would cram 4 wrestlers into what used to be a car, but back then it looked like a piece of shit. Okay? And we would travel for an hour. And
Oh, so WWE Ride Along?
Yeah, before Ride Along was the thing. This is what we used to do. One of my favorite things of all time is no matter how many times you fell off a bridge, you no-sold that shit. Okay? You got back in the car and you drove for like an hour. It was stupid. Okay? It was the most idiotic thing I ever did in my life. But like when I first got into this game, when one of the wrestlers told me you're riding with me, I was like, okay, I didn't understand it.
So you're telling me that you had to drive an hour to an hour to an arena?
It was so stupid, yeah. Back in the really old days.
What happens if you died? Did you get did TP?
Did yeah, when you died you got teleported back to the spawn.
What happens if they didn't? What happens if they didn't TP you?
fucking, then you had to hit track, apparently, because I never had that issue. But one of my favorite stories of all time, and I'll never forget it, is back when we had the one map where they had the giant bridge, and you drove those really crappy fucking versions of cars that Roblox made.
Mhm.
We were driving across the bridge, and there was a bump in the fucking bridge, and we hit the bridge, and all the wrestlers fucking flew out. Okay, every fucking one of the wrestlers flew off in different directions. Okay, and what really is so stupid about that story is the fact that I hate I hated that real wrestling aspect of things because I was told if you didn't drive an hour to the show, then time. I went with baseball recently. Baseball will even tell you baseball had to do it. That's
Really?
back then. That was way back in the day. And baseball was like something that made me laugh is me and baseball when we were in real wrestling back in the day, we used to do this thing to train, and you would train by running around the building like 10 laps, right?
Are you serious?
Serious. Things like back then that was what you had to do. And you paid dues and all that stuff. Dues back then were more important than they are now because now anybody and everybody could be a wrestler. Back then you only had like 4 or 5 major companies you could go to. And when you worked for that company, you were signed to that company. And if you went to another company's show, then it was sacrilege. And basically if you went to that other person's show, then no other company would hire you because that's not how business was back then.
Mm.
And that's when the original concept of contracts came out because I was signed to a WRE contract for I think a month, and when my contract was up, I had the right to go wherever I wanted to go. But back then, you actually had to sign a contract, and he would keep track of it. The
Wow.
owners would keep track of the contracts, and that was a
Wow.
hell of that was a very good way of doing business back in the day. But also back then, you were able to pay your wrestlers tickets. Now you can't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, I know. Which I can't. I hate that they got rid of ticks. But hey, we can't do anything now. It's been years since then, and there's
Yeah,
no way they're just gonna bring it out of nowhere.
yeah.
Unless, like, I don't know, we do an invasion like that one YouTuber when he got rid of the forums, which is dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
All right. What is your favorite company?
All time?
Yeah, of all time.
Probably, I won't. Probably for all time favorite companies would probably have to be God RWW. I worked for Adam 411, and that was my favorite place to wrestle. I worked for him for years. He built me and made me who I am now. Because if it wasn't for Adam taking a chance on me, I don't think anybody else would have.
Hmm.
So I owe Adam everything. My second favorite company of all time is XCW, and that's straight shoot. If it wasn't for Xavier doing what he did with my dad when my dad passed, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have came back to XCW once I left. I just wouldn't have came back.
So when did that happen? That happened. Was that happen when I was here?
When what was happening?
Like what Xavier did for your dad? Did that happen when I was here, or did that happen like way
I
back, like
don't
near
remember.
CPW?
I don't. No. This was right after I came over from CPW, and it was after I won the Universal title, and I just ended up getting the American X title. And I found out my dad had passed away, and my dad, he ended up what I thought when he passed away. I thought it was due to, cancer because he had cancer and he had AIDS, and my dad was a very sick man. And I found out later on that my dad died because of his girlfriend at the time, who I despise. If it wasn't for Xavier letting me do the match that I asked him, I wanted a main event, and a show and for my dad. That's all I wanted. But Xavier went ahead and made the show a tribute to my dad. And I got to wrestle whoever I wanted in any match I wanted. I picked Luke Dynamite because I knew I could do something with Luke. We did a ladder match. And Luke was amazing to wrestle, but I played the theme song that my dad listened to all the time when we were in the car when I was younger, and it was by Nickel Slots, and it was called Devil's Chain Gang. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I had to mute my microphone because I actually started crying when I was coming down the ramp, and because I miss obviously I miss my dad. So, and I was so happy to do that and to do it that way. Because and the worst part about it is I never got to say goodbye to my dad. And when my dad passed, because I never had a really good relationship with my dad, but when my dad passed, I blamed myself for not saying goodbye and not doing more, you know?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, there's been times where stuff like that happens. And sometimes, like, whenever you can't do anything, sometimes you just blame yourself because you can't do anything about it.
I blame, and I'm not gonna lie, this was without exaggeration. I blamed myself so bad that I started drinking a lot, like really, like a lot, way more than I should have. Like I would have, I'd buy an 18 pack of Bud Light or Budweiser, normally Budweiser, and I would drink 12 in one night. And then I'd be pissed when the other 8 was gone the next morning when I, because I don't remember if I drank it or not. And I hated that because, like, and I know my dad, he loved me and all that stuff, but it was just so hard to come to terms with his passing. And it's hard now, but I've came to peace with it, through God and all that. So, and I know he's in a better place, but it's just so hard.
Even though, like, some people are not really biggest religious people, because, I mean, I used to be a huge dickhead when I was young, but I really have to say going to church was probably one of my favorite things I've ever done in my life. Like, it really did change me.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta give me a minute.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It was so hard to do that, and if it was Xavier doing that, it was very nice of him to do that for me because he didn't really know me that well. So I appreciated it, and I still appreciate it to this day. And that's why when I came back here, I want to stay here and I want to help XCW and do everything I can with this place because this is my home now, and this will be my home until I'm done.
Okay. Well, speaking about that, what was going through you when we did the I think we called it the Exodus of XCW.
What do you mean?
It was when Xavier he told the FBI in-game.
Oh, that stuff.
Yeah, all about that stuff, and Alan got fired or quote.
The best part about that stuff is Xavier had the wrong idea. The only reason I cared so much about all that stuff is because when he was robbing Vegas and stuff like that, like originally my original intent was to try and get into a position of power to try and help them. Now that I gotten, like, I was going to do everything I could to get a job with an LV to try and make sure that they could rob as many banks as they wanted. Now I can't, obviously I don't do that, but it's just when I think Xavier had the wrong idea in my mind, like in his mind. But when we were on the subject of what was going on, like he immediately, once I said things, like he pointed fingers, and plus I had a few people in our call. I'm not going to reveal their names, but besides you and me, and that were like, yeah, we're going to leave that company. Just send the photos, whatever. I got photos of whatever was going on. I was like, they kept telling me, just send the photos, send the photos. I was like, I didn't really want to send them, but if I'm going to send them, I might as well, because I already had my intention of leaving. Because, for one thing I hate when someone accuses me of being a liar. Because if I'm going to lie to somebody, I'm going to lie to their face. I'm not going to, stab them in the back or anything like that. The only time I've lied to anybody within XCW was when I probably, with all honesty, the only time I think I ever lied to XCW is when I told Alex Hart that I knew him from somewhere else. That's the only thing I think I ever lied about here. Because everything else I've told everybody here is I've been open and honest with everybody. And if anybody ever has any questions, they know where to get me. People here have my Discord, and people here have my Snapchat. People are on my Facebook that are in this group. Like, I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to hide.
Okay. Oh, what was? Yeah, I mean, we all had a different reason to leaving XCW at the time when all of that. Like,
Mhm.
you had your own reasons. I had my own
Yeah.
reasons. Because I mean, yeah, I also had the same thing. Like, basically, try to get a higher power,
Mhm.
so we can rob stuff in
Yeah.
LV. But I guess after that, everything a bit changed.
I can.
Because for me, it just didn't feel like I could trust Xavier anymore. Because that was like a huge blow.
When
Because
Xavier
that was the
made
plan ever since we joined NUSA.
when Xavier called us liars. Well, first when I was told I was a liar, that's when it struck a chord with me, because I haven't lied to Xavier. If I'm gonna tell Xavier something, I'm gonna tell him exactly like he does everybody else. I'm gonna tell him straight to his face that I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna go and do it. If I had issues with Xavier, yeah, we had issues, but I never once didn't like Xavier. It was just we were in two different places. So I understand.
Yeah. Now, what I really meant was like, how did you felt about leaving XCW? What I meant was,
I didn't want to leave.
yeah.
I didn't
What
want to leave.
what I meant was like, is like when we left, we came back in the server, and I think what you did was you were talking shit. You started talking shit.
I was talking shit because I was.
But what
If
was
I'm gonna
going in your
be
head at that time?
in my head, I hated the fact that I was called because I haven't lied. I didn't like. I didn't care if I burnt bridges and all that. I didn't care. The only thing I cared about at that time, and thank God I'm different than who I was then, because I have a lot more, control over that. But it's just then I just don't care. I didn't care what anybody wanted. I didn't care what anybody needed. If I pissed somebody off, I pissed somebody off. If you knew as who I am in this, like, I'm in this thing all the time. I try to make as many people as I can laugh, right? And I'm here every day. If anybody ever needs anything from me, I'm here.
Yeah.
But like at that time, like I was already going through a lot with my dad gone, and I didn't need that shit. And I'm gonna be straightforward with you, and this is something I haven't told anybody, not even my family, is during that time I cut. I was miserable. I hated me because I felt liable for what happened to my dad. So yeah, when I had that shit going on with Xavier and all that, I was not in my right my mental frame of mind, and I was cutting because I couldn't do it. I couldn't handle it. It's just I was breaking down, and when you're drinking every day, and you're watching yourself in the mirror slowly change, and when you look in that mirror and you look back at yourself and you hate yourself, that's when you know you need to do something. And I remember the conversation I had. I remember I called you one night because I had enough of it. I just didn't want to do it anymore. We talked a little bit in detail about what happened, and it was either you or Greg I talked to, and I told you I had the revolver,
It
right? The
was
snub
me.
nose. And I had the snub nose.
I remember.
I put one bullet in, and I spun it, right? And I said, if this thing goes off, then that's the end, right? But if it doesn't go off, then I'm going to do everything in my power to change who I am. And you know, thankfully, everything turned out perfectly fine because I'm here today by the grace of God, and I'm in a better place than I think I've ever been in my life. And I owe everything to everybody that's been my friend, like baseball, JT, you, anybody that stood by me. I can never repay you guys because you guys really helped me out a lot.
So
And
you did
you helped me
spin it?
find myself. Yeah, I did. I lied to you
Okay.
because
So it wasn't about, because what you told me, it was about like your relationship.
yeah,
Uh,
because when I told you what was going on at the time, everything with me and who the girl I was with was fine.
Beth. Yeah.
Yeah, everything with me and her was fine. It was just my dad because you and me were talking a lot still at that time, and you knew I was drinking. And you knew I was drinking a lot because I would send you fucking photos in the Discord. So when you're drinking as much as I was drinking and you didn't want to be around anymore, that's when you knew, like, okay, you got to change. Because not only was it affecting me in person, it affected my relationship with the girl I was with. It affected my family life, and a lot of people that were around me as my friends started slowly going away. So I so happy that I'm in a better place in my life. And, you know, if it wasn't for you guys and it wasn't for God, I don't think I'd be here. And that's just me being honest with you because I would have just kept going down that road.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a question because those questions were kind of put me asking. Those weren't really anyone asking at all. Uh.
So
The
and I'm just going to send this because it's already out there into the open. So I'm just going to open up and, you know, in case anybody does question, you know, if I did that or not. I have one of the scars on my arm that's permanent and it'll never go away. You can see it. It's the little white line that's in my arm there. It'll never go away because that's just my stupidity at the time was, you know, I thought the end of it, I just didn't want to be around no more. So why, if I don't want to be around no more, then why am I? And I did it in a way where I did it. I'm not gonna lie, I did it with intention because I was hoping my family would help me, but my family wasn't there to help me. I had to do everything on my own, and hopefully, you know, everything didn't happen on my own. It was me, you, Greg was there, and you know, God, and you. If it wasn't for everybody being around me, I wouldn't be here. So I owe you guys a lot.
yeah. Let's go into the Let's go into what is your greatest accomplishment in your pro wrestling career since your career is coming to a close? That came from baseball. That yeah, that question came from baseball.
Greatest thing I ever did was, honestly, in my opinion, one of the greatest things I think I've done is I've helped train a lot of kids and teach them how to do this and teach them how to tell a story. And a lot of those people ended up becoming main eventers. And I'm so happy with the way everything turned out because back in the old days, I had an academy, and it was before I did this academy with Adrian, which flopped. But when I had my old academy, I had a lot of students, and they wanted to learn how to do stuff. And who better to learn from than somebody that, you know, has been to the top and was on top, and, you know, only left the top because he was tired of how things were and wanted to change.
Yeah, basically the story of Cars 3. Yeah, because like I can understand like what I meant about like Cars 3 is that like the meaning of the whole movie was about like your base experience won't be you getting everything, but more of like you like teaching the next generation what to do.
It's
Make
always
them
been
better.
about. It's always been about. I've never been a person that's done for. And anybody that's known me in wrestling knows that. It's always been about what I can do for either the show or what I can do for whoever I'm with. Because I'm not afraid to put somebody over. I've never been afraid to put somebody over. Because if I can see somebody's going to benefit from from me putting them over, then yeah. Like, that's what the original plan was when I was fighting Luke, is I was going to win our first match, which was the ladder match, and he was going to win at the next pay-per-view and take the title from me, and I was going to, go off into the sunset,
Mm-hmm.
That was just how that was.
Yeah. Wrestling. Even though what you said about not that many people with old people of wrestling would like the new ones now. There's been a lot of people I've met in the new generation that have been very wholesome.
Mhm.
And
I'm not saying there isn't any.
well, I know,
I'm just
but
saying there's some.
but yeah, it's just like, but yeah, it really is something. What do you think about the whole XCW as a family thing?
I love it. This is definitely a family. Because
Yeah.
if it, every time I come here, is there times that, there's tension? Yeah, there's tension, because that's with any family. But this is a family. I know if I ever need anything from anybody in this crew, I know I could ask. That's why I'm back. Because in the same way some of these people in this group have given to me, I want to give back. That's why I'm back.
Yeah. And this is gonna be the last question.
Okay.
What are your plans for the future? What do you expect?
Wrestling?
No, just in general. What do you think you're gonna do in the future? Are you possibly gonna do wrestling, gonna train people? Are you gonna really pursue the comedy thing?
I'm gonna pursue whatever God tells me, because I can sit here and tell you that I'm gonna be here in wrestling for another 5 years, but that's not something I can promise. What I can promise is the only thing that I know about myself is that I'm not a guy that sticks to the same thing over and over again. If I can see something and change it and mold it in a different way, then I'm invested. And I'll be a part of that for as long as I can. But when it comes down to it, the only thing I want from this game is that I want to still be around in the Discord. I'm not going to promise that I'll be around for another 5 years. But I love this, and I don't want to say I'm going to leave, but that's something that does have to happen eventually. So I love it, but I'm going to, yeah, that's just how it is. Hopefully with me, everything just, okay?
Okay. All right. Now that is it for the Backstage Pass. This is probably
You were gonna say basement yard.
I was about to say paintball. This has probably been, I think, probably the best episode you've probably had, because it's definitely gone through everything from laughs to calling people out to a very personal, emotional stuff. Yeah,
This
definitely.
podcast can go in two different directions. It can be a serious podcast, and it can definitely be one of those where you straight shoot.
Yeah.
So either one is. Either one.
Yeah. So yeah. Thank you for being. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Affliction, for being an interviewee, even though you've been the interviewer for most episodes, all the episodes except for this one.
It's all about bringing entertainment to everybody. That's all I ever wanted to do, was bring entertainment to everybody.
Okay, so that's why you wanted to be interviewed, because you knew it this entire time that if you were interviewed, it would bring in all the views.
It'd bring entertainment.
Yeah.
That's The thing is I knew to tell things that people were going to ask me. I was going to be honest with them. But I knew if certain questions that I was hoping would not be asked would be asked, that I would tell about them. Like, I'm happy that I got to get a lot of this off my chest because it is entertaining, but it's also me. It's the real life me, and that's just how it is. And I'm just trying to, one day at a time, I'm just trying to bring joy and entertainment to everybody that watches this and, knows me in real life and knows me in this game. And just trying to make everybody, all I want to do is just make sure nobody knows what to expect next, because that's just how I roll.
Alright. Well, thank you for being one of the interviewees, and good night.